1992, homeless on the street in San Francisco, California. I was listening to NPR News one time on the radio, and this guy talked about all these phases in life and what could be lost out of our society, and the last one that we would lose out of our society before its collapse was love. In 3 decades of collecting information, I've been mindful of a series of events that I feel like we have lost in phases of our society. In 2020, when Audacity showed up in the pandemic, and I watched how we would literally let someone die just for our own benefit, I learned we didn't have our love for one another. And then recent developments of Chat GPT-4, which is on restricted mode, I understand even more so the importance of what I'm doing. It starts by having a design team with the same mentality and outlook and ambition and desire for humanity as me. The senior management team is going to make sure all the pieces abide by the clear rules when I say a safe, socially responsible, cultural social media site. Particularly on the social media sites and through business practices, no sexualization, no class distinction, and profanity, no hate, no shock videos, no death, and child access only regulated content and restricted access only content. I want a team that can go to where the story's at. I want a person who can sit down and be comfortable in asking questions. I want to see beauty where we are. I want to get rid of this body image perfection that we have. See us in our story where we are. See us, the people. See us, the culture. See us, the individual. The headquarters production team is a very unique set of people. It's very diverse in culture, and it centers either a new location when a Peapod Center opens up. We're going to bring them either here to the headquarters, or the headquarters is going to go there and help engage and build, or both, and or any combination thereof. The direction for every Peapod Center in the world. They're busy. They're busy connecting the touch points between the major aspects of what I have talked about in my other previous videos. They are busy. They are busy thinking about all the people and all the aspects in making sure that everyone is fitting into the actuariist is building that this exchange algorithm out of what I have understood from the people and the information they have given me directly. That's that process where I talk about the verification process for being part of this. These are the people you want thinking about you when you go to sleep at night. They're mindful of you. We all know about the Silk Road, the exchange of goods from deep within China all the way up and through out, scattered amongst Europe. The exchange of goods become one of status symbol. For many, the first touch the outside world, outside culture in which they were accustomed. I want you to imagine for just a moment how I imagine the world of the Silk Road and how it could become a new place in our society. How you can take an old trade and an old concept and re-envision it into a modern day world society now. We've come a long ways from exchanging spices and carpets and dates. And the roads are much different than the ones that were out in the desert. But nonetheless, the exchange and the want of goods from foods to everything is endless. Now, this upper left-hand picture here is just another snapshot of what the terrace would look like. But this is kind of what a contemporary 5-story Peapod Center would look like. It's hard to find exactly what I want, but the top 2 floors would be the elite team, and the 3rd floor would be the marketing team, where the bottom 2 floors is sort of like the meeting house where the 20-foot soldiers live, and the house mother, and different elements that I'm not going to go into here. But the top 2 floors are your elite production team that are making those 2-hour, 1-block segmented weekly comedy broadcasts. It's kind of like the old hee-haw or the Carol Burnett Show, only modern. Here's some examples of those old skits here.
Hee-haw! I'm Black. I'm Rowan. Hee-haw's back. Oh boy, let's go. Right now. Hee-haw!
Do you love me?
Of course I do.
I've been hearing rumors about you and other women.
Oh, posh.
Posh, you say? That's a rather strong word, isn't it? What about the widow Tyler?
That's absurd. We simply walk along the beach searching for abalone.
There is no abalone in these waters.
So we found out.
Why? He's teaching me the art.
As it can be. Everybody in Nashville picks an instrument, a guitar or a banjo or fiddle, and I wanted to belong. So I got this banjo, and I took lessons and I practiced, and you just heard the results. I feel so.
See, this elephant had this little dwarf trainer, and just used to put a little ballerina skirt on that elephant. Around circuit, like that.
I'm going to flaunt myself in front of them. I'm going to pretend that I am looking for the ladies' room, and I will flaunt myself in front of them. Goodbye.
3 minutes. How many? Oh, 3, eh? So never advance that. You want to stop fooling around? Mrs. Phyllis. Here. No, that's all right. That's all right, Mrs. Phyllis. That's all right. Just take your time. Just take your time, Mrs. Phyllis. Here's a tissue. There's the tissue. Control yourself.
This elite production broadcast group who works with the 20 foot soldiers who canvass the community are going to be working to find people who make commodities like beads, and then we can exhibit some of their work on these production studios. So they're going to kind of work together. And there may be people who make mass produce fabric in different sections of the world, works very closely with an actuariist, or is either an actuariist where we're going to have product placement, who's going to be working with the commodities specialist who has an office on the 3rd floor. One of the things about the elite team when they're doing their advertising and product placement, when they're having their 2 1-hour segment weekly broadcasts, some places may have 2, some places may have even a 3rd. Those product placements and advertising dollars are only meant for people who sell in that area. They're only locally based advertising. So, because we're kind of talking about the hubs now. This is where the hubs get into play on once a Peapod Center is up and functioning. This is where the hubs get into play on once a Peapod Center is up and functioning. This is an extension of that. The one thing you have to understand is there's going to be varied market appearances throughout the world. And though I haven't made an official video on what co-op community investment is, at least I don't think I have, I'm currently going to be engaging for several months on the touch points of all the points that are now, and the hubs is going to be a lot of the centering of that information. Warehouses that obviously are going to have to be pretty airtight. Some of them are going to have to be temperature and humidity regulated. Again, we're talking products from all around the world. And when we have these different fabric places like this and all this amount of fabric, they're going to be open markets that you can come and visit. These hub centers and mini markets and mini hubs, these mini hubs that we talk about that are franchising ability, they're going to be able to tap into this hub-to-hub container exchange. Many of which I'm hoping to target location into an art district or create an art district. There's going to be a bit of crate and barrel shopping with rolls of linens and different random variety of things, and with what we get from locals, and some food truck type atmosphere mini mart restaurants in a 4-day-a-week operation. You can visit, you can see all the products they got, and just think, 4,000 locations, each location sending one box, maybe every day, maybe several every day. To be able to work together and create markets that sell both, old antique things, homemade things. There's going to be probably anywhere from 5, maybe no trucks, to dozens. And they're going to be able to double as a farmer's market. Most important to keep in mind, what I'm doing is independent of any structure of business that exists anywhere on the world right now. Know anything or of any concern for what I am doing. Direct to direct, hub to hub purchasing, shortening the shipping time goes then from the hub to the franchised mini hubs. The in-network exchange creates food safety standards that aren't currently available. Because of the in-network aspect and the commitment to making and growing the middle class, one of the things that becomes a part of this is the Pony Express, which is the home delivery from the hub to whoever the buyer may be, or mini hub. The pandemic taught price gouging, and this gives control back to the customer. Buyer and seller relationship are localized. As I said, the pandemic taught how fragile food securities can be and shortages, and this whole system is going to nearly eliminate this in 10, 15 years as the communes become places that start to grow vegetables year-round, and hopefully the scalability will create a market to where that they can sell to the locals as well, always and constant. Basically, each one of the commune locations is going to have a greenhouse, and as scalability efforts succeed, hopefully enough to where that they can produce and grow for the community season all year round. I'm going to kind of design the storefront section part of it, kind of like a community learning area. Again, these buildings are also going to have on the backside location, they're going to have counseling locations, places that people can have conferences if they want to rent some space for anything like that. Remember how the 5-hour verification process and the opt-in process and the hotkeys where I specifically mentioned about 911 for military vets in crisis, the 911 for new moms, and then the one that won't be an option is a standard top button, mental health, anxiety and depression hot button that brings you on a Rolodex tab. They're going to collect support groups that will meet here. We're going to have art theater groups may meet together. There's going to be pottery classes, these buildings. There's going to be lots of different kind of art functions. We're going to have art lessons that are going to be held. Art representatives from all around the world. Possibly they're going to go hub to hub exchange as we learn about different artists. We're going to get to be able to feature artists from all around the world. You have to be mindful when I say 500,000 hours of a life lived trying to earn the Nobel Peace Prize for humanity, and 15,000 hours managing that information as a gift to humanity. My touch points become overlaps and touch points in one person to the next, building community in ways unimaginably put together as a world leader. There's going to be a bunch of investment opportunity. There's going to be a whole conversation that I'm going to have that's going to make a certain segment of it end up being on the stock market, but it's going to be secured money, backed money from the Good Ship social media site, but it's going to be reinvestment or investment to help starter businesses in what I call business out of a box. I'm not going to say anything more on that. That's something that's going to be way later in conversation. See us, the collective. See us in every section and corner of the globe, in every 4,000 locations scattered in a culture zoning map throughout every aspect of the world. There's a whole reason and basic behind that. The only exclusions that would have is when I do this $13 million fundraising aspect, I'm going to be reaching out to certain billion-dollar corporations, and I may allow an exclusion of advertising if they're willing to help with the startup funds of the beginning of this money. I just want to say, and I may explain in a later video, I think within 10 years, I can reach $1 trillion a year business, and within 15 years, I believe I can reach $2 trillion a year business. But that's once the social media site is